The moment that changed everything happened in silence. Not the peaceful kind of silence people choose, but the heavy, permanent kind that had followed Jonathan Hale for most of his life. In a candlelit private dining room high above the city, a deaf millionaire sat alone at a long table set for two, staring at food that had already gone cold, unaware that within minutes, a baby who could not speak a single word would reach across that invisible wall and shatter years of loneliness in one unforgettable act. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the idea that the smallest souls can make the biggest miracles, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us why compassion still matters. Jonathan Hale had built an empire most people only read about. At 46, he owned technology firms, investment properties, and patents that shaped the future. His penthouse restaurant reservations were booked months in advance, yet tonight, like so many nights before, he sat alone. Wealth had given him comfort, security, and control, but it had never given him connection. He had lost his hearing at age 12 after a sudden illness. The doctors had used words his parents barely understood, but the result was simple and cruel. One morning, the world had gone quiet. Friends slowly drifted away, uncomfortable with the awkward pauses and the need to repeat themselves. Teachers treated him with pity. Later, colleagues treated him with distance. Jonathan learned early that success was safer than people. Numbers did not misunderstand him. Contracts did not grow impatient. Money never walked away because communication felt hard. Still, silence had a way of echoing louder when the lights dimmed and the room emptied. The restaurant was closed to the public that evening, opened only for him out of respect and obligation. Staff moved quietly around him, trained to avoid eye contact unless necessary. Most didn't know how to communicate with him and assumed he preferred isolation. In truth, Jonathan watched every movement carefully, reading lips, reading body language, trying not to let the ache show on his face. When the cleaning crew arrived later than usual, he barely noticed at first. He was used to being the last presence in any room. But then he saw her. The woman was small, tired-looking, with shoulders that carried the weight of too many responsibilities. Her uniform was worn but clean, her movements careful, almost apologetic. She pushed a cleaning cart with one hand and balanced a baby carrier with the other. The baby inside slept quietly, a soft bundle wrapped in a faded blanket. Jonathan frowned slightly. Children were never allowed in this space. Rules existed for a reason. His first instinct was irritation, not anger, but the reflex of someone whose world depended on structure. The woman noticed his gaze and froze. Her eyes widened with fear, and she immediately began gesturing, bowing slightly, explaining something quickly. Jonathan didn't catch every word, but he read enough from her lips and expression. Babysitter canceled. No family, no choice. She needed the job, she needed the money. Jonathan felt that familiar wall rise inside him, the wall that said not my problem, the wall that had kept him safe for decades. He gave a small nod, signaling it was fine, and turned back to his plate. The woman exhaled in relief and began cleaning quietly, keeping her baby at a distance. Minutes passed. Jonathan tried to eat, but the food tasted like nothing. His eyes kept drifting back to the baby carrier. The child had woken up and was staring at him with startling intensity. Not curiosity alone, but recognition, as if the baby sensed something unseen. Then it happened. The baby smiled. It wasn't a polite smile or a fleeting one. It was wide, open, fearless. The kind of smile that expects nothing and offers everything. Jonathan felt something tighten in his chest. Babies smiled at everyone, he told himself. It meant nothing. But then the baby lifted a tiny hand and began moving its fingers in a clumsy, unmistakable pattern. Jonathan froze. The baby was signing. Not random gestures, not meaningless movement. It was crude, imperfect, but it was sign language. The sign for hello. Jonathan stared, heart pounding so hard he could feel it in his throat. His fork slipped from his hand and clattered against the plate, unnoticed by him. He raised his own hand slowly, almost afraid to respond, and signed back. Hello. The baby squealed silently, delighted, and repeated the motion with more enthusiasm. Jonathan felt tears burn behind his eyes. In that instant, decades of isolation cracked. Someone, this tiny human, had seen him, not his wealth, not his silence. Him. The cleaning woman noticed and rushed over, mortified, apologizing, trying to pull the baby away. Jonathan gently waved her off and gestured for her to sit, his movements calm but urgent. Confused, she hesitated, then obeyed. Through a mix of basic signs, written notes on a napkin, and halting understanding, the story unfolded. The baby, named Mateo, had been born to deaf parents who taught him sign language from birth. Both parents had died in an accident months earlier. The woman, Rosa, was Mateo's aunt by marriage. She didn't know sign language well herself, but Mateo remembered. Jonathan listened, absorbing every word like water after a drought. For the first time in years, dinner stretched on without loneliness. Jonathan signed to Mateo, making the baby laugh. Rosa watched in disbelief, tears silently rolling down her cheeks as she saw joy return to a child who had been quiet for weeks. That night, after Rosa left, Jonathan did not go home immediately. He stayed in the empty restaurant, sitting in the same chair, but everything felt different. Silence no longer felt like punishment. It felt like potential. In the weeks that followed, Jonathan found excuses to dine later, knowing Rosa's shift. He arranged a private corner where Mateo could sit safely. He ordered simpler meals and spent more time signing stories to the baby than eating. Staff began to notice the change. The billionaire who never smiled now laughed soundlessly, his hands alive with expression. Jonathan learned more about Rosa's life. She worked 3 jobs. She lived in a cramped apartment. Mateo's future was uncertain. Social services were involved. The possibility of the baby being placed elsewhere loomed constantly. Jonathan told himself he was just helping. He paid for childcare, then for classes so Rosa could learn sign language properly, then for a better apartment closer to work. Each step felt logical, necessary, reasonable, but the truth was deeper. Mateo had awakened something Jonathan thought had died, the part of him that wanted family, that wanted to matter beyond balance sheets and headlines. The turning point came one evening when Mateo was sick. Rosa hadn't come to work. Jonathan felt the absence immediately. The restaurant felt unbearably quiet again. He realized, with a clarity that frightened him, that he was afraid of going back to the way things were. He reached out to Rosa, offering help without conditions. Hospital bills, time off, support. When she thanked him, overwhelmed, he signed something he hadn't planned to say. Family. Months later, after careful consideration, legal processes, and sleepless nights, Jonathan made a decision that would redefine his life. He applied to become Mateo's guardian, with Rosa's full consent and gratitude. He didn't do it to save the child. He did it because the child had already saved him. Life didn't become perfect. There were challenges, adjustments, fear. Jonathan had to learn patience beyond contracts and deadlines. He had to learn how to be present, how to love without control. But every night, when Mateo signed goodnight with clumsy fingers and a grin that still melted his heart, Jonathan knew the risk was worth it. Before this story ends, take a moment and comment below. Do you believe that love can come from the most unexpected places? Your words matter more than you know. Years later, Jonathan no longer dined alone. His penthouse echoed with quiet laughter, toys scattered across polished floors, and hands constantly moving in conversation. He still lived in silence, but it was no longer empty. If this story touched your heart, if it made you feel hope, or reminded you that even the smallest act can change a life, please like this video, share it, and stay connected with our community. Sometimes miracles don't make a sound, but they change everything.